Moving averages are a tool that gives us the average price of a stock over a specified number of days, and we can use this tool to help us to identify market trends. There are two main kinds of moving averages we can use, namely the simple moving average and the exponential or the weighted moving average. The simple moving average is just a direct calculation of the average price over the specified number of days. For example, if we're looking at a 10-day simple moving average, all we're doing is taking the total price of these 10 days added together and divide that by 10. So basically, every single day in this calculation has an equal weighting in the moving average calculation. Now, one common criticism of the simple moving average is that as time goes by, the older prices, the earlier prices within the data set, it becomes less and less relevant to factors that are influencing the price today. And so the view is that as the time lag gets longer and longer, the information that is much earlier in the calculation becomes less and less useful. So to fix this, they came up with a new method known as the exponential or the weighted moving average. Now, the underlying concept behind the exponential moving average or the EMA is largely similar to the simple moving average in that the intention is to calculate a constantly updated average price of the stock over time. The main difference is that more weightage is given to prices that are more recent, prices that are more closer to today compared to the older and earlier data that is included within the calculation. For the purpose of this video, we're not going to go into the specifics of how the EMA is calculated, but the main idea is that a multiplier is applied to the information as it's added to the data set, such that the newest information would have the largest influence on the EMA, and that influence will diminish as time goes by and as more new information is being added to the data set. And the result of that is that we have a moving average line that is more sensitive to recent price changes. If we were to do a side-by-side comparison of the 60-period exponential moving average and the 60-period simple moving average, what we'll notice is that the EMA is way more sensitive and way more reactive to recent price changes. But what difference does it really make? Why would we be using one over the other? Well, in my opinion, it really only makes a difference if you have a trading or investing strategy that depends on moving average to generate buy or sell signals. Because the EMA is more sensitive to recent price changes, you're likely to receive your buy or sell signals much earlier compared to if you were using an SMA strategy. But at the same time, there's also a major disadvantage to using a more reactive moving average line, and that's it's likely to generate more false signals. At the end of the day, I would never recommend anyone to implement a trading or investing strategy that depends only on one single factor, on one indicator such as, moving average crossovers. As I've mentioned before in other videos, I use moving averages simply to give me the average price so that can help me to identify the trend and supplement the investment decisions and trading decisions that I'm going to make. For that purpose, the simple moving average is good enough for me. Increasing the sensitivity of the moving average doesn't necessarily increase the usefulness of the information. Also, the very reason why the EMA exists stems from the view that the older prices within the SMA stops becoming as effective and as useful over time. And therefore, the rationale behind it is, we need something that's more sensitive, something that's more reactive. If that's the case, why don't you just use a shorter period simple moving average rather than having to change and reconfigure the entire calculation of the moving average into some other version of it? I don't think that rationale makes sense, because if the information is not useful, then just don't use it. So ultimately, if something is not meaningful to me, it's not meaningful to my investment decisions, then it doesn't make sense for me to have it on my chart to complicate my thinking. So simple moving average is good enough, in my opinion. Alright, so That's it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe if you found it to be useful or if you have any further questions, and I will see you in the next one.